So the inauguration, he's up there giving a speech. If you can play a couple of the clips, I know we have a few of them. You know, when he addresses, there's only two genders. When he addresses a few things, whatever clips you got, let's just go through a few of them, Rob, if you want to line them up.
This week, I will also end the government policy of trying to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private life.
Kamala, not standing up, not
We
clapping.
will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based.
Common sense. Biden not clapping, Kamala not clapping.
As of today, it will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
How ridiculous is it that a president has to say something like that?
Yeah. Absurd.
How ridiculous is it that
Absurd
he
is
has to
more
say something
than-
like
yeah.
that? Go to the next clip, Rob, if you got. So that's one. He's given a message like that in his inauguration. You ready for the next one?
First, I will declare a national emergency at our southern border.
Next to the borders.
Why are you not clapping, Kamala?
Yeah,
Is that not
okay.
important to you?
Or she still doesn't know where the border is.
Yeah. Joe Biden has no idea what's happening.
Look how bad of a look it is
For those
that
who sit.
Kamala and Biden are not standing up.
All illegal entry will immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came. We will reinstate my Remain in Mexico policy. I will end the practice of catch and release. And I will send troops to the southern border to repel the disastrous invasion of our country.
There you go.
Rob, so all of this is happening. Let me just read to you guys, folks, all the executive orders, okay? All of them. And then you tell me which one of these was the one you liked the most. So day one, think about it. He just started his job, okay?
Literally.
Just- most people who get in,
First day.
they want to kind of be like, well, let me get an accomplishment first week, first month, first 90 days, first year. Day one, boom, okay? One after another. Here's some of the executive orders he had on day one. Pardon in the January 6th U.S. Capitol attack. Trump pardoned approximately 1,500 people charged or convicted with the January 6th attack. Ordered an end to federal cases against political opponents of the Biden administration focused on helping Trump supporters. Next one. The economy on TikTok signed orders to combat inflation by easing regulations on oil and gas production, drill baby drill, targeting Alaska for expansion, announced 25% tariff on Canada and Mexico starting February 1, paused Congress TikTok ban for 75 days to seek a U.S. buyer ensuring national security while keeping the app available. America First pulled the U.S. out of the World Health Organization. And Rob, if you can play that one clip, it's like 13 seconds. He pulled U.S. out of the World Health Organization and ordered a review of foreign aid spending. If you have the World Health one, just pull it up. It's on Twitter. Go for it.
Withdrawing from
What
the
is this one?
withdrawing from the World Health Organization, sir.
Ooh, that's a big one. So we paid $500 million to World Health when I was here, and I terminated it. China with 1.4 billion people. We have 350 to pay. We have, nobody knows what we have because so many people came in illegally, but let's say we have 325. They had 1.4 billion. They were paying 39 million, we were paying 500
That just
million.
doesn't make any sense to me.
Seemed a little unfair to me. So that wasn't the reason, but I dropped out. They offered me to come back for 39 million. In theory, it should be less than that, but, you know. And when Biden came back, they came back for 500 million. He knew that you could come back for 39 million. They wanted us back so badly, so we'll see what happens.
All right, so let me continue. That's a big one right there. Then planned symbolic actions, including renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and reverting Denali to Mount McKinley, which, by the way, Florida came up with the first time ever using the phrase Gulf of America. Immigration and national security reinstated Trump-era deportation policy, prioritizing all undocumented immigrants for removal. Declared a national emergency at the U.S.-Mexico border, deploying troops and restricting asylum and refugees admissions. Ended Biden's CBP app and suspended the refugee program and pending security review. Revoked security clearances for critics like James Clapper, Leon Panetta, and John Bolton. Withdrew from the U.S. from the Paris Climate Agreement and declared an energy emergency, promising to drill, baby, drill. Announced plans to eliminate Biden's electric vehicle mandates. Froze federal hiring, expect for the military, and paused new regulations. Empowered Musk to lead the Department of Government Efficiency, aiming to streamline government and cut spending. Ordered the termination of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Roll back transgender protections, recognizing only two sexes, male and female. Banned federal funding for transition services and ordered segregation in federal shelters and prisons by biological sexes, which is, again, everything here is common sense, common sense, common sense. Tom, which one of these was the most important one in your opinion?
In my opinion, everything you take a look at, because you look at inflation, look at everything, and I'm gonna give you a little BizDoc dive here, was drill, baby, drill. And let me tell you why. Drill, baby, drill increases the supply of oil and gas in the United States, which is going to reduce the price of that oil and gas in the United States to U.S. citizens. And if oil and fuel costs less, then it costs less for those trucks running around with American products delivering to each other. So we're going to get some savings on delivery costs. We're going to get savings on I expect this summer plane tickets will cost less for families going on vacation or businesses that are sending their people around for meetings and conferences and things. I think you're getting drill, baby, drill was big. It also backs us out of these false reliances that the Biden administration had made. Well, we won't drill here, and I'll suspend this, and then we won't do this. Biden, there was a very interesting thing that happened with Speaker Johnson, who just before the inauguration, he released, and Pat, I think you know what I'm talking about here, where he was talking to Johnson, and Johnson said, it took me 9 weeks to get a meeting with Biden. And when I finally get into a meeting with Biden, Kamala, Chuck Schumer, and Hakeem Jeffries are in there with me. I said, wait a minute, I had asked, it took me 9 weeks to get a one-on-one meeting. And then Biden said, hey, this is a one-on-one meeting. Don't need you guys. And so he sort of dismissed him. And he said, Mr. President, you signed this thing that said we wouldn't, export natural gas to Europe. And Europe's had pipelines. Gee, have you noticed a couple pipelines that were interfered with?
Apparently
Maybe a couple bombings,
Yeah.
And so we want to export gas to help inflation and the cost of the people of Europe. And it's winter in Europe. They are highly, we talk about heating oil in the Northeast United States for winter. Europe needs natural gas during the winter. Otherwise, their citizens don't have it. And it's very expensive. Well, guess what? Biden didn't even remember that. And so when you go back to drill, baby, drill, and making us an energy exporter, not only is that anti-inflation and helps the American consumer, it helps so many areas of the economy. Coupled to that, backing up of Paris, the Paris Accord, just remember the word 2 degrees. We're gonna put a target on fossil fuel because we think, we're not even sure, we think it will keep global warming the way they want to measure it, which is in dispute itself, within this 2-degree range. And so I thought drill, baby, drill and the Paris Accord Paris Agreement were very, very big together because of what it means for the U.S. economy, what it means for the U.S. Consumer and U.S. businesses. And also, remember Kofi Annan used to talk about global warming is nothing, he says, is an opportunity. I don't have the exact quote, but Kofi Annan used to see global warming as an opportunity to redistribute wealth. Oh, you pay carbon credits to me. You made too much pollution. You and your country, Vinny, give me carbon credits. Mm-hmm. How did that reduce any emissions?
Nothing.
Exactly. Yep. So it was like this. It was like an economic joke.
What's
so I thought those were my big ones.
I love that. What's interesting with this, before Vinny, I come to you, is the following. Rob, if you can pull up this chart that Brandon sent to us this morning. Most people say, well, all Trump cares about is the oil companies are going to make money. That's what Trump cares about. Watch this, folks. when you think about oil profits, Rob, I don't know if you have it up or not. I
It's
can't
up.
see it. Okay, so as long as you guys can see it, because I can't see
There
it.
it is, Pat.
Where is it at? Okay, I can't see it over there, but let me just pull
This
it
is
up.
the tweet that Brandon had,
Okay.
and then here's Statista.
So let me just pull it up. So look what it shows there on oil gas industry revenue in the U.S. from 2010 to 2023, and match it to presidents, okay? Match it to presidents. So look at that. Under Obama, oil companies were killing it. They were phenomenal. They're doing so great. Why? Gas prices was higher. Trump comes in, oil revenue drops. You think they like Trump? You think they're sitting there saying, oh, we're going to make more money than ever before? No, they actually made a ton of money under Obama and Biden. So look at this. Next time somebody brags to you about how much money they're making, look at under Biden, how much money oil companies made. Look at 21. Look at 22. Look at 23. You see those revenues? Wow. Guess what? It's because the savings goes down to the day-to-day person that instead of spending $4 a gallon, $5 a gallon, if we go drill, baby, drill, you know what's going to happen in gas prices, Tom? It's going to be a different story. So how do you process this data when you see this? The average person hears he's all about the rich people, rich getting richer, but this doesn't say that.
So if you look at the chart, one of the things I was looking at is you make a good point about it, but if you zoom in a little bit, his last 2 years is when Obama took a big swing at fossil fuel. Look at 15 and 16. Those belong to Obama because November of 16 was the election. So Obama, halfway through his second term, do you remember when he leans over to Vladimir Putin and said, well, after my election, I'll have more flexibility to do other things.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Well, that's what he did here. And on energy, those were Obama policies that took from 14 to 15 to 16. Obama stepped on the head of the oil and gas industry. And then you can see it was going up incrementally over Trump, not back to the original number. And then, of course, COVID is 19, 20, 21. So I think there's some truth to that. But there was also Obama stepping on it during his last 2 years because, okay, Paris Accord, all these restrictions, not letting people drill. Remember they held up, we used to hear about permits. We're hearing about permits in LA with the fires, but we used to hear about drilling permits. Remember that? Oh, no new permits are being issued. And they wanted to do exploratory wells and geo surveys in the Anwar, which is up in Alaska, which is rumored to have a ton of oil and gas up there. And Obama kind of stepped on it. So it's a true point about Trump, but also you can take a look at what Obama did as he was walking out the back door.
Rob, can you do me a favor and go online on Google and type in the following, type in gas prices under different presidents.
Here we
under
go.
different presidents, and then go to images if you could, and I'll tell you which image to click. Go to the fourth image, top right, red, blue. Can you zoom in a little bit on that or go to look at that right there. Okay, that's under Bush, goes up. Look at Barack Obama, gas prices. What does it hit? 368, 358, 344, 358, right? And then under Trump, gas prices never went above 281.
Wow.
That's what you got to look at. And I look at Biden, 310, 406, 347.
Wow.
Gas
Right
prices.
out of the gate.
So that's the point when you're looking at this. You know, if it replicates what happened in his previous 4 years, gas prices are going down, and the average day-to-day family is going to feel it. Vinny, thoughts on the different executive orders?
I think as me and Tom had a conversation about it, I think one of the top two for me. One of them was the WHO, Tom, removing because it removed
World Health Organization.
removing us from the WHO because these are unelected global organizations, Tom, that have policies on us for locking us down, like Tedros. He's the main guy with them. Like people, I don't think you guys understand because if you hear these little hints of all these flus and all this, was it Peter Hotez warning us of everything coming down to the pipeline? This removes the power from these people to do a global lock everything down, and which we already know what they did with COVID. And the other one was the January 6th, the 1,500 people. And this isn't, mind you, these aren't people that were burning stuff or doing whatever. These are 1,500, and he mentioned this in his speech, a 78-year-old grandmother who was just standing there taking pictures of the Capitol. She gets to go home now to her family. I think that's one of the best things that we're going to get into all the parties back because people were like, how dare you? And guess what? He pardoned Michael Byrd. The guy, the only death was Michael Byrd shooting Ashley Babbitt and in my opinion, murdering her. That was the only death. So like, imagine all the families of these 1,500 people who were standing around that were getting rubber bullets shot at them. And that the fact that he's doing that, I saw videos last night of people at the jails celebrating and these people crying because they got to get out of jail. So that was my favorite one.
Adam, how about yourself?
I got a totally different take than you guys. I respect your guys' answers. I don't think it's even close. I think you're both totally off. I think you guys, those are the things that you mentioned. I think those are number 5, 6, 7, 8. It
Why
comes
don't
down
you just
to one
get to
thing.
the one you picked?
Tom, let me speak.
They had a rough night last night, guys. Adam, at the Liberty Ball, But anyways, go ahead.
ahead.
No, go explain.
What was your favorite?
Wait,
What
please
was your
explain.
What was your favorite?
That I actually hung out with a woman last night.
Oh,
rather than
okay. Well,
three
okay.
dudes hanging out in a circle.
All right, so
here's the point.
Okay, so we're
Here's
not
the
gonna.
point.
Okay, we're just gonna deflect.
Turned over a new leaf.
And I want to know what the audience thinks when you walk in with
You
your
notice
crew.
that I'm not interrupting the old man.
No,
when
he
speaks or the
started
crazy
it.
guy
No,
when he
I'm
speaks.
crazy guy.
I'm just gonna give.
I just want to know what the public thinks.
Oh,
Since
a little
Pat brought it up.
ageism.
Hold on.
That's
When you
nice.
walk into a place with your team, with your crew, and you're talking me into going, which I wasn't going to go, and we all walk in together, and then you vanish, what does that say about you?
Guys,
Okay?
It
I'm just
says
saying.
I had to take a leak.
Okay, but it was girls.
We walk in.
You were talking
and
to
Adam
girls.
just vanishes.
You were talking to
I
girls.
went to the bathroom.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Guys, you're lucky I have thick skin over here.
2-hour leak. You should see a
Here's-
doctor.
Go ahead.
Tom, the comedy act is off the chains these days. The point is this. What is the biggest thing? What is the biggest difference? What a difference 4 years makes. You said common sense prevails. I said at the beginning of this election, the least craziest person is going to win this election. So you know how they say that politics is downstream from culture? Guys, the last 4 years, think about it, they didn't know what a woman was. They couldn't define a woman. Trump gets on stage and says, guys, breaking news, there's only 2 genders. Sorry if I offended anybody. There's only 2 genders. 4 years ago, I didn't know what DEI was. I didn't know what MEI was. I didn't know what ESG was. I knew what a woman was. Matt Walsh, Daily Wire, who we saw and hung out with, came out with a movie, What is a Woman? People couldn't answer the question. Okay, they came up with critical race theory. Hamas, Osama bin Laden are the good guys now. Gays for Gaza is all the rage. What is happening here? Then when they start burning the American flag, no. So what happened was people lost their damn mind after Trump took office, after January 6th, during COVID. People lost their mind, and all this stuff is downstream of everything. J6, oil, all that. If you don't know the difference between a man and a woman, I'm sorry. We're going to start right there, and then everything else will come into place. That's my answer.
Well, that's to me, the biggest thing you're talking about is the fact that we got back to common sense. I
Yes.
think that's very important.
Did you ever see
But-
the clip when the lady goes, "Excuse me, sir, it's ma'am"?
Right.
Yeah.
It's
right.
like, no.
Right. And what's we now if you ask somebody that lives in California or Texas or Arizona, they're going to tell you it's the border. Okay. If you talk to somebody who goes to parties and skips the guys to go hang out with girls, they're going to say man and woman, gender, right? If you talk to somebody who is on TikTok, they're going to say it's TikTok. If you talk to somebody that is in jail because of J6 and their families are not with them, because someone's in jail, that's going to be J6. But if you talk to somebody who dealt with the manipulation of World Health Organization and forcing people to do things because the globalists thought, oh my God, here's what we're going to be doing, then you're going to say World Health Organization. But if you talk to somebody that lost a job to another person for diversity and equity, and like, wait a minute, I'm better at the job than you. What are you doing? Then it's going to be it really comes down to how any of these policies directly impact somebody. But the biggest factor for me was the fact it was common sense. This is going to be a very, very unique era we're going through, and we're going to learn a lot the next 4 years. And like I said, in 2025, the year of surprises, the surprises are just getting warmed up. So if you think you're very good at predictions, don't forget, go to vtnews.ai, make your predictions. There's 100 days we're going to go through. I think we're barely on day 19 of different predictions being made. Obviously, it's day 2 today, but there's been 19 predictions so far. Go claim your predictions. The next 100 days, we're going to go through this on a weekly basis on a podcast. We're excited to see which one of you guys is going to be very good at making predictions. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.